Let's move on to main topic number 5. And our 5th and final main topic today gets submitted to us by Geeky Gator, who writes, "Hey, John and crew. So with Tenet moving from July 17th to July 31st, this now makes Mulan the first big blockbuster scheduled to open when theaters reopen. Of course, it's scheduled to open on July 24th. We have heard Bob Chapek, that's the new CEO of Disney, say that they are confident in this date before, but do you think they will now move it? Maybe swap dates with the New Mutants in August and have New Mutants as the canary in the coal mine, as they would say." All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, Geeky. And listen, that does raise a really fascinating... All this movement raises a fascinating situation here with Mulan. Because Mulan, scheduled to come out July 24th, they were one of the first big movies to open up, but of course they were opening up after Tenet. Tenet, Disney was going to be able to let Warner Brothers be the canary in the coal mine, to get out there first, be the movie to attract some people back, and then by the second week, when Mulan opens up, they could reap all the benefits of that. But now Mulan is in a position where they're going to have to be the first out of the gate as far as big major tentpole films go. And Mulan is indeed one of these big major tentpole films. Bob Chapek, CEO of Disney, did say recently that we don't see any reason why we would need to move off this date. We think it's a good date for Mulan, yada, yada, yada. But that's when Tenet was going to be the first penguin to jump in the water. That was when Tenet was going to take the shot first and to see if everything was going to work out. Now, they're not in that position. Mulan is not in that safety position anymore. And now they are going to be the first ones into the water. Yes, Chapek has said they are comfortable with the date. They think this is a good date for them. Blah, 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 blah. But that doesn't necessarily mean that now they're going to keep it. I am torn on this, seriously, about whether or not Disney will hold this date. I think there's a strong argument to be made that they will. I think there's a strong argument to be made that now they get to be the ones. Remember, Warner Brothers and Christopher Nolan wanted to be seen as the saviors of the movie theater industry. It was really important to them to say, we're the first ones out of the gate. We're the ones who are going to welcome people back in theaters and blah, blah, blah. Now Disney's in the position that they can do that. But it's also a position of risk. This is risky. This is a delicate situation that they're in. I'm going to say this. I think Mulan will hold their date, but I am not confident in that at all. I wouldn't bet you one shiny dollar on that, not $1. So if I had to choose, I'm guessing they'll hold the 24th date. But now, besides the fact that July 24th was always going to be, hey, that's still kind of early, they at least had Tenet in front of them to take the bullet. Now that's not there. So I'm going to guess they'll keep the 24th date, but I'm not going to be surprised at all if even by the end of this show, guys, we see news come across the board that Disney's decided to move it to, well, whatever, the week after Tenet now. So the first week of August to make sure they stay like 1 week, just hopscotch 1 week behind Tenet. I won't be surprised. Rob, you take a look at this situation. What do you think is going to happen here with now Mulan? Disney's made some big statements about them thinking this is a good date for them, but that was before Tenet moved. What do you think is going to happen with Mulan?
I'm with you. I wouldn't be surprised if they move it. I really don't know. Again, this whole situation is in flux. Again, Mulan is a really important film for Disney. They've got a big investment in it. They need this to not just open in the United States. They have to have an open worldwide as well. And again, we mentioned early on that 40% of China's theaters are expected to no longer exist. They need that Chinese box office. You know, they need these theaters open. Just like Warner Brothers said they needed 80% of the world's theaters open to open Tenet. I think that's what Disney's hoping for with Mulan. And if not, can they go? Because the whole point of a theatrical release is a certain amount of financial return. They need that financial return to come in. And if that financial return isn't going to come in, they can't release a movie and have it be disappointing. So I don't know, man. I think it's iffy that Mulan's going to stick on this date. I really do. It really depends. Where are movie theaters going to be in 6 weeks?
Aaron, we've heard Disney say they're going to hold that date, but situation has changed. Mm-hmm. Do you expect when July 24th rolls around that Mulan will be opening up in theaters?
I don't. I really don't. I mean, sure, anything could happen. This leapfrog game that it looks like Tenet and Mulan might be making up until the final hour could be interesting. But another thing that we should keep in mind is the target demographic of the people. I mean, I'm talking about in America, at least. I can't speak for other markets, of the people that are going to go see these movies. You know, when you have Tenet, it's a mind-bending psychological Christopher Nolan film that obviously is tailored to a very adult audience and a very specific, Christopher Nolan fan base. Whereas Mulan, being a Disney film, more family friendly. Are parents going to be interested in bringing their kids back to the theater? It's one thing for, adults if it's a singular person or, two people, but there's already been a lot of chatter that I've been hearing about parents unsure about sending their kids back to school right away in late August or early September. Teachers that are now starting to talk to their unions about maybe not opening up school. Like, I'm already hearing chatter about that. And given that Mulan is specifically a Disney film, which obviously attracts tons of adults. I'm not saying that it's a movie just for kids. I'm not saying that. But this is a movie that they're expecting, mom and dad or mom and all the kids and everybody, they're expecting multiple ticket sales with each group of people, not just a singular ticket or two tickets. So I think that that's also something they're going to be keeping in mind and doing a lot of focus group conversations about. Do you feel safe going to the theaters, but do you feel safe bringing your children to the theaters?
Guys, the question is for you. This is a tough one. I think this one's really, really close. Again, I'm only saying I think it'll open on the 24th because if you force me to make a choice, but honestly, I think it's a coin toss here. I think it's, pocket jacks versus ace king. I think this is a coin toss. I don't know which way this is going to go. What do you guys think Disney is going to do? But more importantly, what do you think Disney should do? Because those could be two separate questions. What do you think they will do? What do you think they should do with this Mulan film? Maybe you're thinking, hey, if all these Chinese theaters are going to go out of business soon, maybe they need to get it out in theaters as soon as they can before those Chinese theaters close. I don't know. There's so many different ways to look at this. What do you think? Jump down into the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With all that down and